follow, because every single day I speak about a different subject. And if you want to go back, you can check one of my websites in order to get to the YouTube channel where I keep the log of every single message. So you can catch me also at powertowin.com. That's powertowin.com, all in one word, how to overcome any addiction. And this is a website that I did as a complement to my book, Power to Win, Overcome Any Addiction. You can find this book there, also on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and you can get it. Even if you don't have an addiction, it's a good reading. Well, I'm biased because I wrote it. But there's a booklet which is like a study guide for the book, which is this one, 21 Days to Break a Bad Habit. And this is an agenda style of booklet. So on the inside, you can write some goals and journal during 21 days. So I did this based on the Daniel fast, and 21 days victories. It's a program based on the Daniel fast. That's a season that I take every year. So every year I do at least one time 21 days of Daniel fast, which is a partial fast. And so I've invited people to do the fast, and some are doing it. And I hope you'll be able to join and get more knowledge about it. So this booklet, I did for people with addiction, but anyone can use it. So you can use it for other purposes. I see that some of you are arriving. Hello, Mimi Gabriel in Facebook, always here, always faithful here. Great to see you here. We have people arriving also on YouTube, on Periscope. If you live in the region where I live, in Quebec, don't forget to go home because we are with a curfew in about 1 hour. So we'll have a curfew that lasts till 5 a.m. the whole month. So we're not able to go outside because of coronavirus, because of the pandemic. So during this season also, it's a good season to refocus, to restart your life. We talked about that yesterday. Today we have a completely different theme, and I'm going to start with the promo, with the intro. So hello again, I'm Tony Silveira. I'm the church planter of the Passion Center. You can find it at passioncenter.org in Montreal. I'm also the author of Power to Win, How to Overcome Any Addiction. And you can find more information on my website if you don't know me. Also, I mentioned before the intro that we are in a season of confinement, and I have some people asking also online if we're going to get together in person. We're not. So tomorrow, which is Sunday, I'm a church planter. I do church for all kinds of people. Mainly, we do church for people that are not into church. So it will be interesting to check us out at passioncenter.org, and from there, or here on YouTube, just return to the YouTube channel, and because I use the church YouTube channel for these videos, so just check it out and visit us. And Liz is asking also that Okay, so we'll meet online at 11 a.m. tomorrow, but I'll continue to be here every day at 7 p.m. If I'll need to adapt the schedule, let me know if 7 is good for you. If you prefer a little bit later, I go to bed very early, so I used to not go to bed, but now I go to bed early. So let me know. All right, so today it's day 9, and I'm going to talk about how to develop new friendships and how this is important when we're resetting our life. So if you're resetting your life, if you're restarting your life, just keep up with me. If not, just keep up anyways. I know during this season it's hard to develop in-person friendships, but you can still do it probably during the day. But you can also develop friendships online. Be careful with those friendships. And I don't know about you, but I have so many thousands of people that require to be friends especially on Facebook, other social networks. It's just a follow thing, but I try to engage with people and I talk with people that I don't know, and I've developed really interesting friendships during this season. I developed friendships in Africa. Some of you that are watching from Congo and Tanzania, other places where I never visited. I went many times to Africa, never been in Congo, but it's easy through social networks to develop these friendships. And so if you cannot develop them in person, just keep up with me. I want to start by talking about a movie that I really enjoyed. It's a movie called Schindlers List, and that's the story of the heroic efforts of a German industrialist named Oskar Schindler. So after Schindler found out what was happening at Auschwitz, he began a systematic effort to save Jews. He had the factory, and so he started with trying to save Jewish families from his own factory. And then he was doing two things. He was both trying to find a way of having fake papers in order to give them new identities and to bypass the German machine war. The war was at the peak, and he continued to help both financially and in many other ways. He also, in his factories, he did ammunition, and he made sure that he was doing ammunition of bad quality. So this is a true story. The movie, it's by Steven Spielberg, I think, the Schindler's List, great movie. And he saved maybe 1,000 people, over 1,000 people from a certain death. So he did this by developing friendships. So he developed new friendships, and through those friendships, he went on a completely different path from all his social stratas and all his friends. At the time, was popular to have extreme ideas, and those ideas were very similar, actually, to the ideas we have today on this guise of democracy. But this is the only time of the day that some of you don't watch politics, so I want to keep away from that. But this aspect of developed friendships and this example that I'm giving you of the Schindler's List shows how a man was able to have compassion, develop compassion, and helped 1,000 people, total strangers, and at the end he is remembered as a hero just because he did what was right. He developed new friendships. And through life, when we're children, we develop friendships very easily. If you go to a school, you're forced to be in a room with 30 or so people, 20 to 40 people, And in that room, you develop those friendships, and you need to get along with all types of people. Sometimes you don't really get along, but you develop those friendships. Then through life, if you are what we call a normal person, you lose those friendships, and it's harder and harder to make new ones. A place where I develop always new friendships, it's church. Church is an ideal environment to talk to new people, and you will find very interesting people, some that are not that interesting, but most people are very interesting, and you'll find people from all walks of life. So if you can join a church, that's a great place. But during this season that all churches are closed, you can still develop these friendships, and you can do it in your neighborhood. You can go to different places and do so, because you're not supposed to be isolated. Now, friendship is a lot like food. You need it to survive. And you may think you don't need friends, but you do. And we seem to have a basic drive for it, some people more than others. And psychologists find that human beings have a fundamental need for inclusion in group life and for close relationships. That need for inclusion can also lead people astray, to find the wrong friends and to be in the wrong settings with different social environments. And if you want to start a new life, this is the reason why I'm talking about this. Remember, I've been teaching about new life for the last couple of days. How can you have a new life? And many times, in order to have a new life, you need new friends. And so don't be afraid to develop positive and healthy relationships. That's important. And during these 21 days, you can have a goal of talking with total strangers or people that you don't really know, maybe a neighbor that you've never talked to. Next time you pass by that neighbor down the street, just say hello. If you're in Quebec, just say bonjour. And as you say hello, try to engage in positive conversation, because this is essential if you're going to develop this new life. Loneliness is a terrible condition, a terrible thing, and living alone increases the risk of suicide. Number two, also lonely individuals report higher levels of stress. Number three, loneliness raises levels of circulating stress hormones and levels of blood pressure. And number four, loneliness destroys the quality and efficiency of sleep. Very often I talk with people that lose their sleep. Again, with age, that will happen more often. I can see it in myself. There's levels of stress that we do not perceive, and that affects our sleep. So if you live alone, and some of you that I know you, and you're watching on Periscope, I see some of you also in YouTube. I don't want to mention anyone, but I know some of you that live alone, and this increases your level of stress. And friendships will help you, in fact, psychological, to keep up with those levels of stress, and you'll be able also to sleep better. So new friendships are developed by acts of kindness or appreciation. So you need to show that you care and invest time and sometimes a little bit of money in other people, and you'll see that your whole life will change dramatically. Life changes when you do good things. This is the reason why some people are religious. I'm not a religious person, but I believe in God. And you may think this is makes no sense, but in fact, I am not a religious person. I love God, and I've learned to live the way God intended for me. And when Jesus said, love your neighbor, the sense it's not to love people that are just around you, but it's to love those total strangers that are in your sphere of influence. And that can be geographically, it can be in the workplace, can be many different things. So develop those friendships and invest in people. Show them that you care. Show them that you appreciate them. And you'll see your life changing. The friendship is when you walk into someone's house and your Wi-Fi connects automatically. That's a quote from an unknown person, and it's a good quote. You know, when you visit a place and you carry your cell phone, I have mine here, and so I have sometimes I go through my settings and I clean up all the old Wi-Fi places that I don't go anymore. Sometimes a coffee shop, Starbucks, certain places that I don't go anymore, I delete all those networks because I have too many. And friendship, it's like an automatic connection. It's something that happens automatically. You kind of click. So it's not that you become friends with everyone that you engage into connection. So if you go, let's say, to your local supermarket, you always pay to the same cashier, and maybe you're just always upset and you never smile. Why don't you try to smile, to engage in a compliment? Tell them how good they are at what they do. I'm telling you this because I do it often. Even when people are offering me a bad service, I sometimes give them a compliment. And I say, "Oh, you're great at what you do. You must have been doing this for a long time." And usually they answer. And if they're grumbling and in a bad mood, sometimes this is enough to make their day. And so when I tell you that you should make new friendships, it's to show these acts of kindness, simple things, even for total strangers. And I can tell you a few positive aspects and a few reasons why friendships are important. Number one, it's for inspiration. Inspiration. Friends will inspire you. If you have people around you that appreciate you, sometimes you're really down, but a friend can truly help you to change and to be in a better position, in a better mood. Number two, it's support. Friends will support you when you're in times of trouble. If you're with a disease, if you catch a disease or something, a true friend will support you. Or if you go through a hardship, you need those friends around you. Also, to celebrate your joys. So support has this aspect. Number three, it's guidance. It's important when you have a decision to make and you have friendships, you have people that are your friends, that you talk to them and you get advice. So guidance is an important aspect. Number four, it's fun. You need to have fun. Your life shouldn't be just work. You need fun. And you have fun with friends. So it's important to develop these friendships. Number five, for encouragement. Again, I talked about this on points 1 and 2, but encouragement, it's something that we need because often we feel discouraged. Like right now, this is a difficult season. Some of you lost your jobs. The future is uncertain. So I develop friendships, and the friendships that I keep, they're usually positive people that I know that can encourage me. And number 6, love. So we all have this need in life of being loved. So if you don't have friends, you don't have anyone to appreciate you, you don't have anyone to love you. And maybe you're so isolated that you don't think about these things. But you should. So develop these friendships. Take time. Listen, if you're on social media, I don't necessarily enjoy social media, but I like the aspect of meeting people and helping people. And one of the reasons why I'm still on Facebook and other social platforms, it's not to read about politics because that is very depressing, some of the things that are going on there. But one of the reasons is to keep up with my old friendships and also to make some new ones. And I've made some incredible contacts and friendships on social media. And so you can use social media for these aspects, not all of them, because those are acquaintances that you do. But then if you go deeper on the knowledge of that person, you can find true friends. Again, try to do it in person, but as you cannot do it easily now, just follow these simple aspects, and this is like simple advice. In Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 24, the New Living Translation, it says, "There are friends who destroy each other, but a real friend sticks closer than a brother." And you know that some people, they see Jesus as their friend, and I happen to be one of them. And people sometimes say, "How can you say Jesus is your friend? He died 2,000 years ago." And that's a great opportunity that I have to tell them, no, in fact, he died, but he resurrected. He's in heaven, and he actually cares for me, and he shows that care in practical ways. And that's a great way to start a conversation about the gospel. But because Jesus is that friend that is closer than a brother. And there's friends that we have, and some of you have brothers and sisters. I'm very good friends with my sister, my older sister, but maybe you don't have friendships in your family, or your family doesn't exist anymore, or you're isolated, you're alone. Develop those friendships, and eventually you'll find friends that are closer than a brother. Again, if you're entering in a new path with God, try to find a Bible-based church and make friendships there. When I started going to church, I was very curious because I was a young guy. I was 24 years old. And the church that I attended, the average age was 65 and up. So there was a lot of 80-year-olds and people that I didn't relate with. But I decided to get along with them because I learned from Scripture that they were my brothers and sisters in Christ. And so I developed those friendships, and I developed really good friendships with older people. And then eventually I started bringing all my friends. At the time, I came from a past of drugs, and I started to bring all those drug addicts to church. And so I started making new friends and bringing them to church. And it's very exciting when you can do this and you help total strangers. I've been doing this for 30 years. And there's people that are brothers and sisters to me, and some of you are watching right now. And when I call sister or brother, it's from the heart. It's important to develop these friendships. So the Daniel fast, which is 21 days to reset your life, will help you to be on a new path. But you're not called to do 21 days of isolation. That's a mistake that some people do. They think, oh, if I'm going to fast, I'm going to isolate. I'm not going to talk to anyone. That's a big mistake, because that's not what the Daniel fast is. The Daniel fast, it's a little bit more than that. So you shouldn't be isolated. You need to develop these friendships. So the Daniel fast, it's a way to reset your life. It's how you can seek God also to be free from situations in your life. Let me read another scripture from the New Testament in the Gospel of John. That's on John 15:13. If you're watching this, you're not a Christian, follow nevertheless, because these are good words. It says, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. Notice that it says that someone, and that someone is actually Jesus, and he's saying these words before he gave his life for his friends. He was investing in their lives, so people were following Jesus. Jesus was a rabbi. So a rabbi was someone that will teach the things of God and had followers. And a pastor today has the same type of status like a rabbi. I'm a church planter, so I teach people on the Word of God, and I teach them how to find the purpose of God for their lives. And so Jesus is telling them there is no greater love than someone investing their life for his life for their friends. And we know that when Jesus died at the cross, he did it not for a personal purpose, a personal reason, but he did it for his friends, and he did it for us, friends that didn't even exist because we were born 2,000 years later. Nevertheless, Jesus gave his life for you because he considers us as friends. So if you don't like to make new friends, listen, Jesus made you a friend because he gave his life for you. So if this doesn't strike you as important, let me tell you, it's very, very important. It's important that you develop new friendships, and with the new friendships that you develop, make something impactful in their lives. Be kind. Do acts of kindness. And one of the things you can do, of course, if you're a Christian, you share the gospel with them, because then you bring them from darkness to light. And you cannot do this if you do not engage in interactions with other people. So again, if sometimes it seems that I'm talking about psychology, I am and I'm not. I'm telling you simple steps on how to be an effective person in this world, and you need to develop these new friendships. Total strangers. Go out of their way. Be like a good Samaritan. Go out of your way to help them. If you're in a hospital watching this, go to the person next door, or if you have someone in your room, and be kind. Engage into conversations and share your faith. This is so crucial, so important. So greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. So I'm about to conclude, to finish. So join me for a new year, for a fast, 21 days to reset your life. And follow me. If you don't do this fast now, just keep this in the back of your head, keep it in mind, and know that nothing will be impossible with God. Nothing will be impossible with God. Again, you can find all of these teachings of these 21 days, these stories, the things that I'm talking. I have them in my book, in this book that you see here, Power to Win, how to overcome any addiction. Even though you don't have an addiction, you can just check it out. Also, you can check out my website at powertowin.com. powertowin.com, and you'll find also the way to use this booklet, 21 Days to Break Any Addiction. Again, this is not just for addiction. This is a journal that you can fill out as these daily reports you see here, where you can put your goals, personal goals, family goals, professional goals. You can journal about your challenges, and this is a personal thing. And I will send you this book for free, including free postage, if you just contact me with a direct message, tell me your name, and give me your address. You may having me engaging into a conversation, because as you learn, I want to be friends with you. So this was day 8, or I'm sorry, this was day 9. I have a bad one here. This was day 9 of not day 8. Day 9, day 8 was yesterday. of this season of 21 days, the Daniel fast, 21 days to overcome any addiction. And this is my motto. So I'm done for today. I see that some of you are there telling me have a good night. Hello, Joanna. Hello, Liz. Hello, Mimi. Others that are watching also. Some of you, I cannot see your names. So if you're on YouTube, click the subscribe button, and I will see you here again tomorrow for another talk at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So join me here. I know some of you, it's very late in Europe and in Africa. Those of you that are watching, if you're watching this later, leave your comments and have a wonderful